everyone, Steve and Julie are back with another Parent Pivot podcast. This is like the third or fourth restart for this podcast. I just like doing stuff differently. In fact, I went to change clothes and my wife would not let me.
Yeah, I'm like, what's wrong with the hat? And I mean, you're wearing your work clothes like you were doing yard work, but that's okay. That's
I was.
the real us. We claim we're authentic. So
Do I smell like I was doing yard work?
No.
Okay. All right, good, because you have to sit awfully close to me.
Yeah.
If you're watching YouTube, I've got this cool orange Puckett's restaurant from Franklin, Tennessee hat on. If you're from Franklin, Tennessee, one of my most favorite places to go visit and stuff. So hi to all our friends out there in Franklin, Tennessee. Anyway, so we're back, and we have some more content for you. We were talking about what we wanted to talk about today, and that is...
being passive aggressive.
Oh, we're never... Would that also be the same as sarcasm?
Yes.
Oh, so I majored in sarcasm, and for like the last 37 years, every time our kids have been sarcastic, this one turns to me and says, "Thank you very much."
Exactly.
They've slowed down. They've slowed down, haven't they?
This is, and I know you guys will relate to this. One of the things that our kids will talk about to this day is Dad walking in the house and going, "It's lit up like a Christmas tree in here."
That's not sarcasm.
No, the sarcasm is, "I'll get the lights." That was the sarcasm.
Oh, okay. So that's also being passive aggressive.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not saying what you really want. Like, "Hey guys, it costs a lot of money to keep the lights on all the time. So I'd really appreciate it if you turn them off." Instead, you come home, you get kind of angry, and then you say,
in a passive way.
In a passive
Like,
aggressive way.
hello, if you were thinking, you'd turn the lights off.
Right.
But that's not what I say. I hide behind my passive aggressiveness or sarcasm. But I haven't done that in a long time.
No, I mean, not since we probably lived in California. So it's been at least 11 years. Yeah.
I'm on an 11-year win streak here.
Yeah, there you go. You're doing really well, honey.
Yes.
So,
however, I passed it on to my kids.
Yes.
Not all of them.
We have very sarcastic children.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
No.
But I would say
we're not going to single anybody out.
Most, well, I don't know. It depends.
So where are we going with this?
Anyway, well, we're talking about our relationship with our adult children.
Yep.
And the fact that we still might pull those passive aggressive digs in. So.
Now, why do we do that?
Because we aren't inside. And this is the thing about sarcasm and passive aggressive. The natural reaction if somebody calls you out on it.
Right.
Is to go, "I was just kidding."
That's true. It's like all of a sudden we're not really kidding. We're trying to make a point without being direct.
Exactly.
And we try to backpedal and what they call walking it back.
Exactly.
By saying,
so,
"I was only kidding."
Let's imagine, let's imagine a scenario where your adult child's getting married. Let's say you're the mother of the groom. And actually, let's do that opposite. Let's say you're mother of the bride. So technically, traditionally, mother of the bride and father of the bride, they're throwing the party. They're giving the party.
We're footing the bill.
We're the ones that are going to be paying, right?
Right. We did it once.
So, but let's say the mother of the groom is stepping in a lot and trying to make decisions and trying to push and whatever else. Now, both these mothers have the potential to be very passive aggressive. You both have dreamed of what this day might look like since your child was born. You both maybe have definite opinions on that. So
they're each trying to probably control and get their way.
On some level. And I'll say this to mothers of the groom, unless you are actually footing the bill, you really don't have say. That's just the way the tradition works. Your party is the night before. Yeah, your party that you get to throw and do it however you want is the rehearsal dinner. And so go all out, do whatever. Mother of the bride, you don't get to speak into where that rehearsal dinner is or anything like that.
So stay in your lane.
But potentially you both have great ability to, under your breath, do some digging. Let's say mother of the bride is talking to her bride daughter, and bride says, well, let's say his name is Bob. Bob's mother really wants to do this. This is important to her. And mother of the bride gives a dig. Well, blah, 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 whatever she says. And she gives a dig. It can go the other way too, where mother of the groom starts making passive aggressive comments. Perhaps it's holiday time and you feel slighted, whoever you are, and your adult child isn't making you and your family and your traditions a priority. And whether they want to do their own traditions or they are participating in their significant other's traditions, you have a hard time keeping your mouth shut. And so you do a dig. If you are an adult child out there listening, I would ask you, call your parents out on this. Tell them, hey, that wasn't called for.
Cheap shot.
Yeah. Say what you mean. Let's have an adult conversation, and let's not do the passive aggressive thing.
So I'm going to play. So do you think that people who are passive aggressive are like they're conflict avoiders? That rather than speak their mind and say something when they know it's probably not going to go well, that they're avoiding conflict? I'm just curious as I say that. We're having our own little husband-wife discussion here.
I would say sometimes yes, but then you've got the opposite thing that can happen where somebody's just controlling
right.
and bullying and saying whatever they want to say.
Right.
They're not being passive aggressive. They're
right.
being aggressive.
Okay.
So you've got both things happening there, and neither of them are good, because what you want is to have an adult conversation with your adult. You want to say, I'm really struggling with this. I'm having a hard time with this. Own your stuff. We say that over and over again.
We do. Own. It's in our book. It's one of the things for having healthy relationships with adult children. Get a copy. It's in the Amazon store.
So let's say, I'll do the holiday thing. Let's say my adult child is, again, not wanting to participate in our traditions, but they'll go and participate in their other, the in-laws traditions, let's say.
So our feelings are hurt.
So my feelings are hurt, and I need the ability to say to my adult child, I am sorry for what I'm about to say. I'm just wanting to be honest that I'm feeling hurt, and this is the way that I feel. Can we talk about this? And that doesn't mean that you're trying to change your adult child's mind. It just means I'm just having a hard time with this. It's part of having adult conversations.
So what I'm hearing is you're inviting them to come on this side of the lens and see life see that incident from your perspective.
Right.
And just let them understand that. And rather than make a passive aggressive comment, because we've always been saying, do you want relationship or do you want to be right? Well, in this case, it's kind of like, hey, do you want relationship or do you want to do a dig, which everybody knows what it's all about?
Right.
I mean, the whole room on a passive aggressive comment knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes over like a lead balloon.
Right.
And so that's not good. So what we want to do is like have a private conversation and saying, hey, I'm just feeling a little hurt. Be honest.
Yeah.
If you could just put yourself in my shoes. We spent a lot of money on this wedding, and these things are now being made, and it's actually the bride's day. So it's really more about her, isn't it?
Yeah, but the parents, it's their party.
Right, their party.
So they still have say in it, I would say. And depending on the parent you are, I was very, whatever you want, sweetie. It's up to you. We did that kind of.
Our daughter wanted to have a potluck. It was her wedding was during the pandemic, and I didn't have a job.
It was great. It was a beautiful day.
Thanks to the U.S. government and our surplus checks.
Yeah. In any case, I'd just be mindful of that. And again, this goes back to just knowing how you really feel about things.
Well,
being able to sit and reflect and be aware of yourself, and being able to say, this hurts me, and I'm sorry if I overstepped. I'm sorry if I tried to control. I'm sorry if I was passive aggressive. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and when you're doing that, you're diffusing and taking all of the weapons out that can be used against you. Because, I mean, they still could be upset or something. But,
Yeah.
and also outside of, say, a wedding scenario, I can also envision that passive aggressive comments can be made via text message. Or on the phone or something else, whether they're in person. I mean, it's not good. If you want to have relationship and good relationship with your adult kids, you can't have sarcasm. You can't have, now sarcasm can be funny.
Sure. If it's not about that, if it's not a dig.
Because like I'm thinking back to things where like maybe I've spaced something and one of my boys might kind of be sarcastically like, "Hello, Dad, are you what happened?" And it's like, "Oh, okay." I can laugh at that.
Yeah.
But we're talking about something that is more personal and would hit you in the feelings, and you'd feel like, "Oh my gosh, I just got slammed." And things, and everybody else, and then all of a sudden you're like walking on eggshells. You've created an eggshell situation.
Yes.
And nobody wants to be around because of that. And really, it's a failure. There's a movie called what? Failure to Launch?
Yeah.
Okay, so this would be a failure to be honest.
Okay.
So failure to be honest cannot be covered up in passive aggressive comments or sarcasm. It's not going to do it. And if anything, you're making yourself look bad.
Absolutely. And you're just making the relationship difficult.
And actually in the parent or / partner, in the pivoting parent partner adult child relationship, you just switched roles. You just became the child and your adult child became the parent.
Yeah.
Because of what you're doing like that. So don't even go to that, just and this, I think behind the scenes, mom and dad, it's okay to have those conversations.
With each other. I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah,
like make sure you have somebody that you can truthfully bounce something off of. And if you happen to be a single mom or dad with adult children, ask a friend, hey, can I just download to you? But ask that friend to not fuel the fire, because fueling the fire will make you more upset. And if that person doesn't have the same perspective, you could find yourself all worked up and then making a phone call or making a text or saying, I'm writing this and I need to say what I'm going to say.
Right. You lose respect, you lose relationship. It's really kind of a no-win situation. So really just cut it out. Don't even use it. And it's a weapon. Yeah. It's a verbal weapon because your feelings got hurt. So, if you're used to that, or somebody in the family, maybe it's an uncle or uncle who, whatever, I don't want to throw a name out, is always passive aggressive. Nobody wants to be around that person.
Yeah. Yeah. So today I was listening to a podcast. I listen to this podcast regularly, Culture Apothecary. It's actually under the umbrella of Turning Point USA. So it's mostly health and wellness. But last December 12th, so if you want to find it, actually we'll put it in the show notes. December 12th, it's episode 27.
Of season 1.
An
hour and 10 minutes long? Oh my gosh, you guys, what happens if we talk for an hour and 10 minutes?
Well, this is a really good episode.
Aren't you glad we keep it short and to the point?
Yeah. This one's called Why Family Estrangement Happens and How to Fix It. The guy she interviewed was Dr. Joshua Coleman. I just want to really recommend this, especially for your parents that write us a lot. The most common thing that we get asked about or someone talks to us about is estranged children for whatever reason that has happened. And there are a plethora of reasons why it happens, but he is addressing this, and it covers a lot of the things that we have said. But
I don't think he's a believer though, right?
I don't think so. But and there is a little bit of cussing in it. They bleep him a few times. So
okay.
Just
a lot of bleeping.
Just so you know.
It's the content that's good. We're not condoning.
But this is kind of his specialty, it sounds like. And he has a lot of great things to say. So if you're one of those people who has an estranged adult child, I want to recommend this episode. And again, we'll put it in the show notes. I would love it if we could have him on, but he would be saying all the same things that he says in this episode. So please let this be resource for you, and go look at it. December 12th of 2024. In any case, he just talks about the pain of that for parents a lot, and talks about the methods to perhaps get back to being able to talk to them and what might need to happen. And he does.
So any of the things that we've talked about in our podcast today?
Oh, tons of things that we've talked about.
Okay. So we were actually on the same path.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
He's very succinct. I think that's what I really liked about it. And she even comments on that at the end, is that she really enjoyed this interview because he was so succinct with his answers that it made it a really easy interview. He didn't wander off or anything. We wander off a lot.
That's because I stare into your eyes and see all that beauty and I just forget what I want to say.
Anyway, so one of the things, though, that he does touch on, which I thought was really interesting, is the fact that the kids always have the upper hand, because not always, but most of the time have the upper hand, because it's really the parents that are hurting because they don't have a relationship with their child. And oftentimes, if they're grandparents, also not with their grandchildren. And it's very painful. So he does talk about that it is up to us. And this is what we've said all along. It's up to us to try to make that right, because we're the ones actually that probably care more. Because if your adult child is cut off from you, there's some reason in their head why they've done that. And so whether it's true or factual, whatever in their head, they are relieved of that when they no longer have to deal with it. So let's say your adult child is cutting you off because they're so dang sick of your passive aggressiveness. But they've never been able to.
That's probably not the only thing.
No, but if let's say that's the case, though, they've clearly been hurt throughout their lifetime with it.
And they think you're not going to listen or change.
Right.
And so they just don't want to have to deal with it.
So they just, they've decided, I don't have to deal with this anymore. It's just, I'm
kind of
tired
like having
of
a boss at work that you're tired of working for. You just go, that's it. I'm done. I quit.
Right. So your adult child in many respects is going on with life and actually probably okay with it. So the sad part is, I realize for you for your parents of adult children.
For your adult parent.
You're also adults.
In case you're not an adult parent.
I hope. Is that you are going to have to be the responsible one. And as I have said over and over and over again on this podcast, you are always the adult in the room. Your child will always be your child, no matter how old they get. So they see that parent-child relationship. So you are going to probably 9.9 times out of 10 have to be the person that is making that effort, who's initiating, who is owning their stuff, who is working on this and trying. But please listen to this podcast that I'm recommending and just think about it.
So how am I going to title this podcast? We've been talking about passive aggressiveness, and now we're talking about estrangement with your adult child.
Because I do think that these things go hand in hand.
Okay.
I think the awareness piece, the willingness piece, the not being...
the awareness piece is staying away from things you know are going to fracture a relationship.
Yes, and he talks a lot about that too, for sure. And so...
And owning it when you have broken relationship.
Right. So if your method of conversation or communication or confrontation is to be passive aggressive, it's not going to work. So that's just
true. When you sit there and think about it, if you make a passive aggressive comment, does your adult child go, I'm so glad you said it that way because I was completely oblivious as to what was going on inside you. Has that ever happened? No.
No, and that would be your child being passive aggressive back to you.
Right. That's true. How about that? But I mean, all I'm saying is that's never happened.
Right.
And it never will happen. So why do we use it in the first place?
Right.
We're using it as a thing because we've been hurt.
Right.
Our feelings have been hurt and we're lashing out and reacting.
So the whole point of this is be honest with yourself about what's really going on inside and why you feel the need to dig or say something under your breath or whatever it is. You know what you do. I hope you know what you do. But ask your spouse,
Yep.
do I do this? Ask your adult child, am I
Yep.
passive aggressive? And I would imagine if you are passive aggressive, somewhere along the way, someone has said those words to you
Sure.
that you are.
Sure.
Or-
And sometimes your kids will go to the other parent and going, "What's with dad?" or "What's with mom?"
Yes.
It's seen. So
yeah. But that's all I got.
Okay.
I really wanted to push this podcast.
Okay, so we're going to push that podcast down to the show notes. Take a gander at it if you've got an estranged adult child. Passive aggressiveness, we've already talked about that.
Yep.
If you're out there and you've got a situation going on with your adult child and you want to talk about it,
please reach out.
Yeah.
I've got a counseling practice and
Yep.
I would love to have a counseling relationship with you.
Yep.
If you want to reach out and have a conversation and spend some time in
Julia's
counseling.
contact information and website in the show notes, so we'll add that as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. We're going to be heading to California to go meet Daisy June here soon. She is all of 12 days old, I think.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. And we'll enjoy. We're really kind of bummed about is usually we complain that we have bad weather in Georgia and that the good weather's in California. Guess what God's doing to us this next week? He's putting lousy weather in California and keeping the weather good in Georgia.
What are you going to do?
Can't chase the weather.
We're also maybe facing, delayed flights and things.
Oh yeah, this whole yeah. So yeah. We'll see what happens. We might be spending a lot of time in the airport. Anyway, that's enough about us. We love coming to you guys all the time. Please, and if you bought a book at Amazon, I don't know if we have very many reviews on there, but if you guys could hit us up for a review if you liked it and thought that was pretty good, we would love it because I think they only let you review it if you've bought the book. If it's been purchased. So if you've bought the book and you like it, please do a review on Amazon for us and share the podcast on your social media.
And like us.
Subscribe here on YouTube right down below there. And that's, I think.
And leave some nice comments for us.
Yeah.
We like that.
We like that. We just
want
to know that you guys this is actually making an impact,
Yeah.
and it's not, not just going in one ear out the other.
Right. You're not alone. That was the whole point of the podcast.
And we've heard a lot of feedback though too. So we're just, So we don't get to see fruit from our ministry, but we hear a lot of stuff that goes on. And so if you get a chance, like for every person that writes in, I think there's probably 10 others that want to write in. So you can reach us at parentpivotpodcast@gmail.com. Julia's information will be down below for her website for counseling. And then we're going to come back in another week with some more fresh content helping you pivot from being a parent to a partner on the next episode of the Parent Pivot Podcast.
Bye.